Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sports Degenerates Show. I am your host, Frank Wible. It's been a long day. It's getting recorded late. I feel like crap, but I figured I had to do something. Just yesterday, we were talking about the Yannick Ngakoue trade to the Vikings and how the Jaguars are pretty much in full tank mode. Well, yeah, they're totally in full tank mode now. Releasing running back Leonard Fournette about to go into his fourth year, just 3 years after, only 3 seasons after taking him with the number 3 overall pick. Really, just releasing him was the insane part. There have been talks back and forth if Fournette would stay, if he wouldn't stay, if he was an integral piece of the offense. With them cutting ties with him for, really, they said just roster moves. It wasn't even that he was a problem in the locker room. They had just said, nope, this is a straight up roster move. Do you really have better running backs than Leonard Fournette on your roster? I don't think so. Jaguars came out, Doug Marrone came out and said, we tried to trade him, but nobody wanted to take anything. They could not get a pick for him. I don't know how true that is, but if it is kind of true, then Leonard Fournette's in for a rude awakening. So, obviously, this is a little bit later. It's about 12 hours after the fact. So, I decided I'm going to add to it. So, I'm going to go through the top 10 teams that I think would either best suit Leonard Fournette would best suit, or it's just a perfect match. So, number 10 be my hometown Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is an interesting one. I don't think this will happen. Okay. With it being said that Leonard Fournette could not get traded from Jacksonville, what that tells me is that nobody is giving him big money, big contracts. It's just not going to be a thing for them. So it's going to be a 1 or 2 year prove it type deal. Maybe get into an offense that's a little bit better, a little bit more open, show that he can run a little bit, and that'll help him out exponentially. It's where I get the Eagles from. The Eagles have a stud young running back in Miles Sanders going into his second year, who had a very, very good freshman year, but is really expected to have a breakout year this year. But not much behind him. Their backup running backs are Boston Scott, Corey Clement, and then there's a camp battle where you might see like undrafted free agent out of Cincinnati, Michael Warren is the power back. But there's not a whole lot of power there. There's not a whole lot of short yardage runs that you're getting out of that. And I don't think Fournette will be used strictly in short yardage. But if you're the Eagles, you would be able to get Fournette maybe on a year or two, kind of keep Sanders' numbers down, keep his carries down, make it easier to work on a contract with Sanders in the coming future. But I got the Eagles at number 10. Number 9 is the Chicago Bears. Look, the Bears quarterback, although they haven't announced if it's going to be Trubisky, if it's going to be Foles, their quarterback room is in trouble. Okay, they have a good young running back in David Montgomery out of Iowa State. He's also going into his second year. I would like to see, you also have a guy in Tariq Cohen who's a game changer, but I would really like to see Leonard Fournette and David Montgomery added together. That is a team that runs that smash mouth style football. They play in the cold. People don't want to tackle guys that are 240 pounds and run like freight trains like Leonard Fournette. It helps take the pressure off your quarterback position. It helps take the pressure off of that still very good defense, and it gives them another option on offense. They wouldn't be the highest scoring offense in the league, obviously, but I think they'd be pretty good, and that would be a move that would make sense. Number 8 is another cold weather area with another second-year running back. It's the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo as well has Singletary, young running back. Really broke out last year. However, it's the same thing as Chicago. Well, Josh Allen is a better quarterback than either Foles or Trubisky. You play in the cold, whipping winds of Buffalo. There are some games, I don't care how strong Josh Allen's arm is, he's not cutting through that wind. You team Fournette up with Singletary, you have a 2-back set, and I know running backs aren't the sexy thing anymore in the NFL, but you can still win with smash mouth football. The Tennessee Titans will tell you that. So that's another team I would like to see, is if Buffalo looked at it and said, Singletary out of the backfield, catching a pass or maybe bouncing off tackle, but sometimes, especially in that cold weather, you need those short yardage. You need to just bang the defense up. That's where you use Leonard Fournette. Speaking of the Tennessee Titans, number 7, the Tennessee Titans. And this one is really interesting because you have Derrick Henry. You have him on big money. And this one would be a money decision. If Leonard Fournette was taking like a 1 year, $4 or $5 million deal, right? Whatever. Nothing big. You have enough money under the cap for the Titans. I know they don't have a ton under the cap, but if it's a 1 year prove it deal, why would you not team up Derrick Henry and Leonard Fournette? I mean, that is just you've really been beaten up on Derrick Henry. His workload is insane, and Fournette's workload in Jacksonville has also been pretty heavy. So you get two of these big body running backs. It gives them an extra year on their career because they don't just murder themselves, and they just bully defenses. I mean, that would just be 9 men in the box every time because you need more than one guy to tackle both of those guys. So there's number 7, the Tennessee Titans. Number 6, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals have Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is an interesting guy because he had all the talent in the world. He was drafted later because of the issues he had at Oklahoma. However, I don't want to say he hasn't performed because the team's been terrible, but he hasn't been what you'd expect. And I don't think Joe Mixon has earned the right to just claim a spot that's his. And I think if you're Cincinnati, it's another thing. You have a ton of cap space. If you could get Fournette in a 1 or 2 year deal where he's a cheaper signing, help Joe Burrow out, get a bruising running back that can just get the short yardage, eat some clock up for Joe Burrow and that offense and help them out, as well as help out that defense that also needs to be rebuilt. So Cincinnati, while I don't think that would happen, that one makes a lot of sense. I just think people would overlook it because it's Cincinnati. They don't even have ask Pat McAfee. They don't even have an indoor practice facility. Number 5, the LA Chargers. So the Chargers, they lost their running back. Melvin Gordon's no longer there. They still have Austin Eckler. He's very good. However, it's another one. They don't have a power back. You don't have that short yardage running back. And I don't care who you are, even if it's a no-name guy, you always need a short yardage guy. You know, teams that struggle in short yardage situations, it comes back to bite them in the ass. Even if they're a good team, it's still it's something that's a glaring weakness. You know, you're stuck on 3rd and 3 or less quite a bit in the NFL. And that's something that it affects the playbook. If you struggle to get 1, 2, 3 yards, then all of a sudden, say first down, you get 7 yards on 2nd down and 2, or you get 8 yards, 2nd down and 2. That's a down and distance where strategy would tell you to dial up a long ball. Go for it all right there because you can get the first down. Well, if you're struggling to get those 2 yards, it changes how you're going to run it. So I would say it's similar. If you're the Chargers, you need that short yardage guy. You know, they're not going to be an offense that blows the top off of anybody because you have not Teddy Bridgewater. Tyrod Taylor's their starter, and then you have Justin Herbert who's behind him, who I think is not going to light the world on fire, but he's going to be a game-managing quarterback. Well, game managers more than anybody are going to get stuck in that 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 situation. It helps you keep your offense on the field. It gives you a higher 3rd down conversion rate because they're a team that's not going to hit you with one play and score. They need long, sustaining drives, and that's a guy that helps you sustain drives. Staying in LA, the LA Rams. The LA Rams let go of Todd Gurley. They drafted somebody. The name escapes me. Give me 2 seconds because I am not going to put this video up without me knowing what the guy they drafted was. He came from Vanderbilt. Why can I not remember him? Or no, I'm sorry. He didn't come from Vanderbilt. Cam Akers from Florida State. Wow. Nice miss, Frank. They drafted Cam Akers. You know, Cam Akers is another guy. He's a rookie. You don't want to put too much pressure on him. Jared Goff is not good. Sorry, Rams fans, all 12 of you. He's not good. So you would have to think that if you're the Rams, why would you not take a flyer on Leonard Fournette? Now, granted, I know that's a team that absolutely does not have a lot of cap space, so Fournette would have to take a lightened deal. And like I said earlier in the video, right before I started this countdown, or during the countdown, was if the rumors are true that the Jags could not get a single draft pick for Leonard Fournette, all that tells me is he's not getting a lot of money in the open market. A lot of people tend to think he's just a short yardage bruiser back, which works for Derrick Henry, but maybe not for every offense. Some teams are going to take a flyer on him on a short amount of money. So that's where I would go with that. And I think the Rams would like that. Akers is a quicker guy. He's a shiftier guy. He can break a tackle or two, but he's not Leonard Fournette, who is just a bully. And he is. I mean, Leonard Fournette still ran for over 1,000 yards last year. So, you know, and he also caught the ball 60 times. Quite frankly, I think the Jaguars are just tanking. It'd be better for Leonard Fournette if they said they were tanking because I think his value would go up. Number 3, knock on wood if you like that, the Vegas Raiders. So, here's the thing with the Raiders. They have Josh Jacobs, okay, who is by all means going to be another stud young running back. You're seeing a common theme with this. But it's, again, Josh Jacobs got injured last year. Josh Jacobs also got injured at Alabama. And he is an angry runner. Angry runners tend to get injured. So you don't want to see a guy like Josh Jacobs also beat his body up at a young age. As well as if there's anybody that's going to take a flyer on a guy who might have a sketchy past, although I think that's like 2 years in the past, so I don't think he really is a problem in the locker room, it would be John Gruden. John Gruden just loves smash mouth football. John Gruden made Mike Allstott a household name. He would do the same thing with Leonard Fournette. John Gruden would love short yardage situations with Fournette, just bully ball football between him and Josh Jacobs. That would really be a match that would work out well. It would also help because if you're the Raiders, you don't have a stout defense, and you're in a division with the Kansas City Chiefs and now the Broncos, who seem to have a high-powered offense. Your best way of winning, especially in today's NFL, where defense really doesn't do much, is hold the ball. Win time of possession. That would be how you win time of possession right there. He wears number 27. So, number 3, the Vegas Raiders. Number 2, the artist formerly known as the Redskins, the Washington football team. This team's just an absolute disarray. But they have a really good head coach in Ron Rivera. I'm pretty sure their starting running back is Adrian Peterson, who's like 40. So, yeah, it would make a whole lot of sense. It helps a young quarterback in Dwayne Haskins for them to go sign Fournette. They're a team that could sign him to a long-term deal as well. So if Washington really, if I made this list again, they're either 1 or 2. Number 1 I'll get to, but it would flip. Washington, they're a team that's struggling. They're a team that's trying to find their way. But Ron Rivera is a defensive head coach. I could very much see him getting a guy like Leonard Fournette that just power football. Just go back to power football. Help out, whether it be Dwayne Haskins, because he's your starter right now, whether it be Alex Smith with his bionic leg. You're going to need somebody that can really keep the defense off of your quarterback, and Leonard Fournette is that guy. So number 2 is Washington. And number 1, the team that can never find a running back, and they probably shouldn't have traded away the best wide receiver in football for a running back, the Houston Texans. This is one of those scenarios where even I think everybody but Bill O'Brien knows that David Johnson sucks now. Like, he's old as shit and should probably let it go. This is one of those moves that he's in your division would really help get kind of the steam off of Bill O'Brien, although not really, because then people would just say you could have kept Hopkins and had Leonard Fournette. But it's another one where also it's a division rival. Just like Tennessee, it's division rival. So how much does Fournette want to get back at Jacksonville? Because every guy that leaves Jacksonville for a new team does not like Jacksonville when they come back. They pretty much hate Jacksonville whenever they face them, or just while they're there, quite honestly. So that's a really interesting one. I think Houston would be the best fit for both. That's the only reason they're 1 and Washington's 2. I really don't think anybody wants to go play for Washington. The team doesn't even have a name. I don't think anybody wants to go there. I don't think Fournette would go, yeah, that team is trying not to end 4th in their division right now. Houston, you're in a division where Houston is, I think they won the division last year. So you're going to a division winner. You're going there with a very, very good top young quarterback. Why would you not join that team? You would join with David Johnson, who, sure, Bill, try to turn back the clocks, but it ain't going to work. But that would help. That is a team that really it's kind of like a smash and dash type guy between Watson and Fournette in the backfield. So I would say absolutely the number 1 team would be the Houston Texans. So real quick, just to go through, 10, Philadelphia Eagles, 9, Chicago Bears, 8, Buffalo Bills, 7, Tennessee Titans, 6, Cincinnati Bengals, 5, LA Chargers, 4, LA Rams, 3, the Vegas Raiders, 2, the Washington football team, and 1, the Houston Texans. This has been the Sports Degenerates Show. I'm your host, Frank Wible. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, subscribe. If you think there's another team that isn't on this list, there's 22 others that you think really would fit. Well, 2100, she's not going back to Jacksonville. That you think would really fit on the Leonard Fournette train, please comment. Let me know. Follow me on Instagram at sports_degenerate_show. The link's in the description below. I post betting lines, especially when football season starts. I'll post betting lines, as well as breaking news before I'm able to get around to recording a video for it. I post a little something. If I do post something, typically I'm going to make a video about it. But, as I said, this is Sports Degenerates Show. I am your host, Frank Wible, and thank you for stopping by.